It happened at dinner, right after the waiter poured the wine. My mother, Elaine, looked straight at me and laughed, asking why I still didn't own a penthouse like my brother. She didn't lower her voice. She wanted the whole table to hear. People chuckled. My brother Mason leaned back with a grin. Dad, Graham, kept his eyes on his plate. I stayed calm while my insides flared. This wasn't teasing, it was the family map drawn in ink. My name is Claire. I was 30 then, working in real estate investing. Spreadsheets, leases, long patience. The kind of success that doesn't sparkle at a dinner table. In our house, Mason was rewarded for ambition. I was rewarded for being easy. When he spoke, people leaned in. When I spoke, the conversation kept moving. Mason's life glittered on purpose. New restaurants, better views, casual remarks about my building. Elaine repeated them with pride. The penthouse became his crown jewel, the proof she could point to when she wanted to shame me into moving faster. No one asked the obvious question of ownership. I knew the answer. Years earlier, I'd bought that unit as an investment and tucked it behind a company name. Mason moved in afterward and treated rent like a suggestion. The property manager's emails kept arriving. Late payment, late payment, late payment. I didn't confront him. If I spoke too soon, they'd call me jealous, dramatic, ungrateful. So I waited. My birthday dinner was next week, at one of Elaine's showy places. When she called to confirm, I said yes. I hung up and felt something inside me go very still. At that table, I would finally speak. One quiet sentence, and let it land where laughter couldn't reach it. The restaurant smelled like butter and money. Elaine chose it for the lighting, soft enough to forgive everyone and sharp enough to show off the glassware. I arrived early, hair pinned back, dress simple, my bag heavy with nothing but my phone. Elaine kissed my cheek like we were close. Graham pulled out my chair and smiled the way he smiled at waiters. Polite, careful, non-committal. Mason strolled in 10 minutes late, wearing confidence like a jacket. Sienna followed, scanning the room as if she were choosing a backdrop. Before we'd even opened the menus, Mason started. Traffic by my place is brutal. My doorman's new. The elevator hates deliveries. Elaine laughed loudly, thrilled by every detail she could repeat later. When the wine hit my glass, she turned to me. So, Claire, still in that little apartment? I like it, I said. Her smile thinned. Comfort is fine, but look at your brother, a penthouse at his age. Won't, she let the word hang, a shiny ornament. Nearby tables glanced over. Sienna sipped, amused. Mason leaned back, basking. I waited until the laughter finished dying. Whose name is on the deed? I asked quietly. Mason blinked, then chuckled. Mine, obviously. I opened my phone and slid it across the table, screen glowing with the property summary I'd watched for months. Unit number, owner entity, rent ledger, 3 red overdue lines. You've been renting it from me, I said, through my company, and you're behind. Silence dropped hard. Elaine's face emptied. Graham stared at the screen like it might accuse him too. Sienna's lips parted, then closed, calculating. Mason's voice went small. You did this here? You started it here, I said. I'm finishing it. Elaine found her voice first. Why would you hide this? She hissed. I didn't hide it, I said. I kept it separate. You never asked what I was building, only why I wasn't building his life. Graham rubbed his forehead, finally looking tired instead of neutral. Mason, he murmured, is this true? Mason stared at the glowing screen, then at me. I was going to catch up. Sienna wanted... He stopped, because Sienna's stare could cut glass. It's simple, I said. 30 days. You pay what you owe and sign a real lease, or you move out, and you stop letting people call it yours. No one laughed. Elaine's napkin twisted in her fist like a white flag she refused to raise. The waiter arrived with the check and hovered, confused by the sudden winter at our table. I reached for it and paid, my birthday, my control, and stood. My hands didn't even tremble. Outside the street was slick with reflected neon. Elaine walked ahead, heels snapping. Graham followed, shoulders rounded. Mason lagged behind, smaller without his story. 2 weeks later, the property manager texted, "Keys returned, unit cleared." I didn't chase the overdue months. The deposit covered most of it, and the rest was tuition. Not for him. For me. For the years I'd swallowed my own name. At the next family dinner, Elaine asked carefully, "How's work?" Graham listened. Mason showed up on time. Sienna didn't. I kept my apartment for a while, then bought a place I loved, not one that impressed. The view was ordinary. The foundation was mine.